I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of South Africa.
Thank you, Vice Chairperson. My delegation wishes to extend to you and the Bureau our best wishes and cooperation as we commence the intergovernmental process for the post-2015 Hyogo framework and upcoming UN Conference on Disaster Risk Management. We also wish to thank the UN Under-Secretary General for Ms. Margaret Wallström and align ourselves with the statement made on behalf of the Africa Group by Ambassador of Egypt. Our continent adopted at the 5th Africa Regional Platform held in Abuja in May 2014 its common position on the post-2015 framework for disaster risk reduction. In addition to our national processes, South Africa has developed a legislative framework governing disaster risk reduction in the country while contributing to the region and global agenda. Like many other developing countries, South Africa and its neighbors face increasing levels of disaster risk. It is exposed to a wide range of hazards, including drought, fires, cyclone, and severe storms that can trigger widespread hardship and devastation. The negative impact of these disasters leave the country and its neighbors to deal with issues such as loss of lives, damage to infrastructure and the environment, disputed livelihood, schooling, and social services, which lead to the increased needs for humanitarian and financial assistance. We are working on disaster risk reduction mainstreaming policies linked to national service delivery, poverty reduction, and sustainable development priorities. The disaster risk reduction and management challenges facing the global community need innovation. One area of innovation to support preparedness is how Earth observation can support sustainable development and disaster risk reduction policies. Satellite and in-situ Earth observations and related information and technological innovation and services are essential to informing disaster preparedness and prevention policies, decisions, and actions. Such technology provides decision makers with critical and factual data needed to drive investment to reduce underlying disasters, risk factors, and make society more adaptive to effects of climate change. It can improve the planning and response of individuals, urban systems, and related infrastructure to extreme events. More timely, Vice Chair, timely dissemination and use of geospatial information from globally coordinated systems for monitoring, predicting, risk assessment, integrated planning, and early warning, mitigation, and responding to hazard will help to reduce loss of life and property at the local, national, and regional level. Disaster risk reduction and mitigation frameworks and strategies must therefore include access to and use of essential global Earth observation resources, such as global Earth observation systems of systems, to provide decision makers and citizens to data and information necessary to make information decisions about preparing for, preventing, and recovering from national and human-induced disasters. Chairperson, my government would like to express its continued support to the global platform as a multi-stakeholder mechanism to share best practices, and particularly on the importance of effectively implementing the Hyogo framework for action. We fully support the need to promote partnerships and international cooperation in reducing disaster risk and building of capacity in those developing countries that need to be assisted to better mitigate and manage disaster risk. South Africa's Disaster Management Center is actively engaged on policy and legislation implementation to ensure the importance of preventing human, economic, infrastructure, property loss, and avoiding environmental degradation. In line with our government's priorities, the disaster management approach pays specific attention to pressing needs of poor communities in relation to both natural and human-induced disasters. Finally, regarding disaster risk reduction, we urge the international community to support developing countries to strengthen their national capacities for disaster relief and reduction, as well as improve their state of preparedness to provide effective responses when these humanitarian emergencies strike. More investment in building early warning systems and the resilience of communities through disaster risk reduction should be prioritized and the Hyogo Framework for Action as an international strategy agreed to by member states remain a critical guide to action in this regard. I thank you, sir.
I thank the distinguished representative of South Africa for her remarks.